What's up, guys? Julian here, and time to do another daily. I haven't done one for a couple of days now. It's been like almost a week, and I'm really sorry about that. I started that new job; it's going really well. But more than anything, I've had kind of a weird week with Magic, where I can't tell if I'm getting better or worse or staying the same. And I know that sounds kind of silly. Like I should probably know that right now, right? So this week, I went to tournament almost every night. Just one of those Friday Night Magic style tournaments, Monday Night Magic, Tuesday Night Magic, whatever. Um, and the reason is because, well, I mean, because I like to play Magic, right? But I kind of enjoy going and like I'll take my Delver deck to some $5 tournament, and then I just like to kind of crush, and then I get like 15 bucks, 20 bucks in stored credit, and I'll just pick up like a Thragtusk, or I'll pick up. I'm trying to get this red green, or maybe like a Naya. I'm just trying to get more. Like I said, like I said before, this is it. These are all the cards I have, and so this deck is like my old red green deck, and I'm just trying to update it. I don't know. I had to sell my Hunt Masters when I was unemployed, so trying to get those back or whatever. I don't know. Just kind of having a good time with it. Um, but I've had this weird thing happen the past couple days, where so Thursday I went to a free tournament, and in the last round, it was 5 rounds, and in the last one, I played against Black White Tokens, and like I don't know. Okay, well let me give you a general picture of what's going on here. Sorry, before I kind of go into the oh that was weird, like a hiccup burp something. So before I go into the details, let me give you a general picture of what's going on. My weird week with Magic is happening because I'm making mistakes while playing, and everyone makes mistakes while playing, right? But like I'm losing games. I'm like throwing games away, or I'm getting more frustrated when I'm losing than I usually do. And I'm trying to piece exactly why that is. Well, I know why it is. It's because I'm throwing away these games. So now let me go into the details. So it all started Thursday. I was playing in round 5, and I played against this kid who's playing Black White Tokens. Right, he's a good player. He top 64 at the Salt Lake GP, and he's a great player. And I just kind of got run over. He just 2-0'd me really fast. It was really kind of sad, and I just didn't have answers. He had like the I was a little bit frustrated, but whatever. Right? It doesn't tick me off too much that I probed him on turn 2, and he had one land and one in place, only 2 lands, and then he had like 2 Hunt Masters and like a Moreland Hunt or something, and then he just went runner land, and it was a little bit like, oh man, like, and that's fine. I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Oh, and he went like Cavern was one of them, so I held Mana Leaks, and anyway, he went like land, cast his Midnight Haunting, and then he untapped, ripped a Cavern, slammed it, played his hero. I dismembered. Then he played his other hero, and I'm just like, man, like I just don't have. Oh, and then I like snap dismembered. Then he played like a third hero off the top, I mean, it was just kind of one of those games, which happens, right? I mean, like sometimes it's just out of your control, and you just lose. Oh, my hair's all poofy. Sorry, I came home today and took a nap. Anyway, so sometimes that happens, right? You just kind of lose, and whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It hasn't really phased me before. You get a little ticked off, like right in the moment. You're like, fuck, man, like, oh, that sucks. Well, good game. You want to play some EDH, or like, you want to play some chess? I've been playing a bunch of chess lately, or something, or like, yeah, you want to just grind a couple more games out because like I don't go to these tournaments for the prizes. It's more just to play a bunch of Magic, right? But like, yeah, I got really ticked off right there, and it wasn't at the player. I don't blame him at all. So I don't know if he watches these. I'm not gonna say his name because it doesn't matter. But I'm not mad like at you at all, right? I mean, I don't. That's fine. You played a good deck and it worked and you crushed me, and that's great. I was just frustrated in general. I was just more frustrated than I usually get at that the game was kind of out of my control or out of my hands. I felt like it was out of my hands, and there was just nothing I could do. Um, and like I don't like that. I don't like feeling like that. If a game is really close, I don't mind losing to like players I really respect, or like if a game is like a really tight, close game 3, and I'm playing against a Naya deck or a Delver deck, and it's just, oh man, we're just going back and forth, and he rips this sword and beats me. It doesn't really phase me as much. I mean, it never feels good to lose, right? But you're kind of like, well, yep, okay. But for some reason, I just got really frustrated, and so I just left, got my 1 pack. No, I didn't get a pack. It was free anyway. So I'm like driving home, and I'm just mad. Like one of those mads where you're like, I'm gonna sell all my cards, and this game is so stupid, and blah 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 blah. You know how it is. But usually that wears off after like 5 minutes. But man, it was there for like 30 minutes. Like I was just ticked the whole drive home, and I got home, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a daily, and then I'm like, nah, I'm just too mad, and it was weird. I don't know why that affected me so much that night, but it did. It was just crazy, and so yeah. So anyway, so I went to bed, went to work the next morning, and then went to FNM. And at FNM, I was playing in round 1, and it's a free FNM, right? And just going for fun. and I played against an infect guy, the infect deck. In game one, I just threw the game away, and it's just weird because I don't I would like to think that I usually don't do that kind of stuff. That I usually don't just throw games away, right? Basically, I mean, I don't remember the exact board state, but basically, I equipped a sword on my angel, and I just swung with everything. And I was thinking I had one more turn, right? And I was gonna race him. So I took him to like 8 or something like that. With and I just needed one more swing in to kill him. So I like swung in with everything, and then I looked down. Oh, I remember what it was. I left more than haunt up, like more than haunt mana up to make a token, but I didn't have any guys in the graveyard. I had no creatures in the graveyard. So I swung with everything, right? And then I'm like, I'm like, you can go. And I look at my board, and then I'm like, yeah, because I can make a more than haunt token. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have any guys in there. Like, well, and I was at 8 infect, and he had like an ink moth and like a glistener elf. And I was like, oh, I don't have, okay. And so I'm like, yeah, you can go. And then he just goes untap, and he's like, swing with my guys. And I'm like, yep, okay, I lose. Like, and I was just so ticked off, right? I was just so ticked off. And then game 2, I boarded incorrectly. I've been boarding weird lately. I don't know what's going on there either, but I boarded incorrectly. I took out my mana leaks and stuff because remember what I talked about in one of my other dailies. I didn't follow my own advice, which was the advice from CJ, right? Which is to board for what you know is in their deck and not board for what you see. So I took out my mana leaks. I didn't bring in negate or anything because I just didn't think about Wild Defiance. I just didn't think obviously he has it. He's playing green infect, right? I mean he obviously has this card, but I just didn't even think about it. And so then on turn 3, he just slams a Wild Defiance. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like, yeah, that's a really good card. And then he, like, activates an Ink Moth, and then he's, like, going to kill me, and I have to Dismember, but I can't even kill the Ink Moth with Dismember, and all this ugly stuff, and, man, and it was just ugly, right? So I'm pretty frustrated at this point. And Josh is sitting right next to me. So if you can't tell by now, like Josh and I are, like we're pretty close, right? Especially when it comes to Magic. We always try to sit next to each other, and we kind of help each other with games. He helps me more than I help him, but still, we comment on games, we talk about things together, and I trust his opinion on like everything. I mean, there might be times every now and then I'll like be like, no, I was actually waiting for this, or I was thinking about this, or I'm pretty sure this, but for them, I was like 95% of the time. I mean, he's right because he's really good at Magic, and I really follow his advice, and I trust him a lot. I've learned a lot from him. And I don't mind when he critiques me right after a game, right? So like that infect game ended, and then he mentioned to me game 1, which I knew, right? But whatever. Then he goes game 1. He goes, yeah. He's like, Julian, I don't know why didn't you leave up a blocker right there? And I was like, yeah, dude. I just thought I had a guy from Moreland Haunt. And then he goes, yeah, but even if you did, if he just rips a burns, if he just rips this and it's over, you probably should have just done this and this and this instead, which would just attack with one guy and leave a couple of blockers back, and and I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. That makes sense. I probably should have done that. And I'm just frustrated, right? I didn't say it quite that well. I was kind of like, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. And I'm kind of picking up my cards. I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. And then like my opponent is like, yeah, probably you should have just left up a couple blockers that last game and done that. And I look at him, I'm like, no, I get it. No, that's fine. I got that. And then like a spectator, because people watch when I play or when Josh plays, people like to watch, which is fine. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all when people watch. But then a spectator's like, yeah, Julian, they're right. If you just left up a couple of guys to block, then you could have. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, bro. Like, I got that. Thank you. And then another person, I kid you not, another spectator was like, well, no, but what he's trying to say is that you could have left a couple of guys to block. And I'm like, I fucking get it, guys. Like, I got that. I could have left guys to block. I wouldn't have died right there. I probably could have won that game. Thank you. Shut up. Right? I didn't say shut up, right? But I was just like, God. And man, I was just so ticked off. Like, I was so frustrated. Not because of what Josh said. I mean, like, that, it always ticks me off when I make mistakes, right? And, like, that's just super frustrating. If the game is totally out of your hands, I'm going to talk about it more later, but, like, game day today, in game 2, I got stuck on 2 lands, and I like, ripped, like, 3 restoration changes in a row, and I just lost a game, right? And, like, that happens. Didn't really, I mean, it bugs me a little bit, just kind of like, oh, that's annoying, but, like, not, I mean, it's kind of like when you bang your knee with your door in your car. You're like, oh, dang it, that sucked. All right, well, and you just kind of move on, right? But when I make when I make a mistake and I lose because of the mistake, oh man, that just ticks me off. Like, I just hate that. And then when everyone was pointing it out, like, over and over again, I'm like, no, I get it. No, I got it. No, I'm learning. No, shut up. Like, I got this. And they just kept saying it. Oh, I got so frustrated. I just like got my stuff and I just walked away. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It was just frustrating. It just ticked me off. And again, I don't blame my opponent. I don't blame the spectators. I mean, and that's fine. They just want to comment. I mean, like I like to think I'm a pretty friendly guy in general. I'm kind of a jovial. I like to chat with people. That's fine. 95% of the time, I know 99% of the time, I really don't care. I mean, we'll just chat. That's fine. And talk about the game. And someone points out something I missed, and maybe I can defend it, or maybe I just learn from it. That's something I try and do because it really bothers me when people make excuses. Um, like one of the examples, I think I've talked about it before, is when someone walks up to you and like, hey, what do you think of my mono boom mill deck? What would you change? And you're flicking through, you're like, oh, I'll probably take out this. This is pretty garbage. Like, and they're like, no, 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 that's really good because you don't understand. Because in this specific situation, blah 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I still don't think it's very good. And they're like, no, you don't, blah, 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 blah. And they just make all these excuses. Or like if you point out something in a game that maybe someone did wrong, and they just start making all these excuses. And they're just making excuses because they don't want to be wrong. They're not actually right about what they're saying. I don't know if that makes sense. That just bugs me really bad. And that's not this. I don't get ticked off, but I'm like, all right, dude, all right. Like, if you don't want to talk about it, if you don't want to make any improvements, then fine. I don't want to talk about it either. But and so when people point out mistakes I make in games, I really, unless I'm like adamant, unless I'm sure, unless I'm like, no, 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 I did it because of this, and maybe you weren't thinking about that, but this is what I was thinking about, But for the most part, I just take it, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You're probably right. I probably shouldn't like that, and then that's fair, and I have to learn from that. I really try and accept that kind of stuff. I just got frustrated because I kept hearing it over and over from all these different people, and like I was ready to just leave. Right? I didn't leave because I'm only 20 points away from getting my second bye for a Grand Prix for this season and for next season, so I just stuck it out. And I ended up 3-1ing, and that's great. I didn't lose another game. Well, I maybe lost games, but I didn't lose another match. 3-1, got some packs. And that's good. I mean, that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. But like I was just frustrated again. Like just that frustration was just getting to me. And then today I went to game day, and round 1 in game day today, I played against a kid, Dylan, like a 10-year-old, but he's awesome at Magic. It's really cool. And he's playing like vampires or zombies with Vexing Devil. Kind of weird, but it's cool. I mean, and he 2-0'd me, which is very strange. And I guess to be a little bit cocky, it's surprising. Okay, so like when I told the shop owner or the guy who was working there, hey, this kid 2-0'd me, like he's like, what? He beat you? He's like, did you get mana screwed both games, or what happened there? Right? Like those kind of reactions. That's pretty normal when someone like I don't lose for that kind of stuff a lot. I would like to think, I mean, that happens sometimes. But once again, I didn't lose because I got mana screwed. I lost because I misplayed. I was at 8, and he had a Blood Artist in play, and he played a Vexing Devil, right? And he had 2 Gravecrawlers out. And I had like 2 Restoration Angels in my hand, and like a Geisting Draft on the board. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Like, I'll just be able to flicker my Geist and block everything and wipe his board. So I took the 5, right? I took the 4 damage from the Vexing Devil and this Blood Artist trigger, and I went to 3. And then I realized, oh, like I can't block his guys anymore because what was going to happen is he was going to swing with 2 Gravecrawlers, and I was going to flash in a Restoration Angel to flicker my Geist Draft and then just double block, right? But if I did that, then my guy would die, his guy would die, and his other guy would die. That's 3. I go to 0, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, so I could just, I take the 4. No, then I'm dead. Oh, well then I will just not block one of them, and the Restoration Angel will block the other. Oh, that's 1 from the Blood Artist, 2 from the Gravecrawler, I'm dead. I'm just dead. I had a Sword of War and Peace in my hand. I had a full hand. So I could have just not taken the damage from that Vexing Devil, stayed at 8, and then flashing the guy, double block those Gravecrawlers, gone to 6, then untapped, sword, swing, go back up to like 11, and I'm fine. And I'm fine. He has nothing else in his hand, just a Vexing Devil. So I just messed up. I just punted the game. I just threw it away. And I was like so mad again. I was so mad. I almost just left. The only reason I didn't leave is because there are people there that I knew, and because I wanted those points. Like, I was like, whatever, I don't even care. I'll just take the points and go. And, like, I almost just walked out. I was just so frustrated again because I just thrown the game away. And, like, it's hard to convey right now to you guys. Like, it's weird that I got this frustrated because I usually don't. But, man, I was just so ticked off. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to, and I just sat there just fuming. And, like, the same thing happened again. Like, this kid started mentioning it to me, and then Josh said something, and the other guy said something, and I'm just like, guys, shut up. Like, I want Josh to tell me because I trust his opinion, or someone points it out, but all these people, like, you guys just keep saying the same thing. Like, and I just keep hearing it over and over again. And I gotta get better at that, right? Because I gotta be able to accept the feedback better, and I usually do. I'm usually pretty good about it. It's just been a weird week, so I punted that game, right? And then, but then I ended up winning the next three, and so I got into the top 8, and this is where I have a lot of respect for Josh. So Josh was 2-1 going into the last round, and he played against a guy who was 1-2. He got paired down, right? So the guy just needed to scoop to Josh so that Josh could hit the top 8. And if the guy beat Josh, the guy still wasn't gonna be in the top 8, right? Like, or maybe, but probably not, right? He was gonna be 6 points. We had a bunch of 7s. It was very unlikely this kid was gonna be in the top 8. Like, impossible. I mean, 2-2, you're not gonna. I mean, anyway. But the kid made Josh play just because he wanted the opportunity to play Josh Snow, to beat Josh Snow. And so he did, and he beat him, and he knocked Josh out of contention for top 8. And, like, Josh didn't get frustrated. Well, maybe a little bit on the inside, but he didn't get all ticked off, and he didn't just leave. And, he was like, oh, yeah, I lost, that's fine. Hey, can I borrow your chess set, play some chess? And I'm like, wow, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine, you could do that. I'm impressed, Like, just the fact that I don't. A couple of days ago, I talked a little bit about that whole love to win or hate to lose situation thing, and I think maybe I got it wrong. I think I hate to lose, and I think Josh just loves to win. I don't think he minds losing all that much, probably because of all the Magic he's played. He's been playing for years, and you just get jaded after a while. And the thing is, like, I want to clarify that I don't care about losing games like losing an FNM, right? Not 4-0ing an FNM. I don't care so much that I didn't 4-0 the FNM. That doesn't. I could care less. I couldn't care less, right? Grammar lesson, it's I couldn't care less, not I could care less, right? Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. It's not that I, didn't 4-0 the FNM, or I didn't win some Tuesday Night Magic tournament. It's the reasons I don't win the matches. That's what gets me. It's because I'm throwing the games away. That's what gets me, right? So anyway, so I get to the top 8, and then I win, I get to the finals, right? And so I'm in the finals playing against Mono Red. And game 1 just seemed impossible. It just seemed I mulled a 5, and I was stuck on 2 lands for a long time. I was playing Delver. I was playing Pike Delver, like 2 Pike, 1 Sword, and he had like 2 Stormkirk Nobles, and he had a Stormblood Berserker. Can't block any of those. Like, I had a Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster can't block any of those, which is that's really frustrating because, like, yeah, because you can't block humans or 2 or more creatures, and it's just it's just frustrating. And the game just slipped away. And like there were points. I mean, he was kind of whittling me down, and I was using my Vapor Snags and using my Dismembers, and but he was just whittling that down that life, and he ended up like it was kind of close, not really. It really wasn't that close. And I lost, right? Lost game 1, and as soon as I lost game 1, stinking Josh is watching, right? And this is fine. I talk about him a lot because he's with me a lot, right? So as soon as I lose game 1, before I even start sideboarding, I just scoop up the cards, right? And Josh goes, we'll talk about it later, but I think you could have won that game. And the game I felt was completely out of my hands. Like, I was like, no, I'm like, Josh, I couldn't have blocked any of those guys. I thought he was gonna say that I should have chump blocked with a Snapcaster Mage and then like gut shot something or something kind of like that. But I was like, Josh, I couldn't have blocked any of those guys. I can't block them, right? I mean, what am I supposed to do? And he was like, no, we'll talk about it. But I think you could have won that game. No, and he goes, I think you could have won that game. And then he goes, no, you definitely could have won that game. And I was like, are you kidding? Did I really just punt this? Like, I really could have won this game and I just threw it all away? Are you fucking kidding me right now? And I just went on super tilt. And so then I sideboarded wrong. Like, I wasn't thinking, and I took out my Geistis Shaft, which is idiotic, right? Later, Josh pointed it out, and I was like, oh, of course, right? I mean, I should not have taken out Geistis Shaft. I just took them out. I was like, they're garbage. Take those out. Put it in Talrand. Just a mistake, right? And as Josh pointed out, the kid beat me in the second game too. I got stuck on 2 lands, so it wasn't as big of a deal because all my sideboarding decisions didn't matter because I got stuck on 2 lands, but they could have mattered, right? And Josh pointed out something kind of interesting. He said that even if you didn't get mana screwed, he said you had already lost game 2 when you presented your deck because you had sideboarded so incorrectly for the matchup that you lost right then. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. You're right. So I got pretty frustrated there. But I was so on tilt, and I was just so mad that I could have. It turned out that he was like, yeah, he's like, because I dismembered something. He's like, I would have dismembered this, and then I would have flashed it back and done this. Then I would have Vapor Snagged this out to oblivion. Then I could have used your, Anyway, he was right. He was absolutely right. I had just But it wasn't like a one thing. It wasn't like the infect thing where I just swung all out and didn't leave a blocker. It was like, oh, your whole sequence of plays. Like you would have dismembered this instead of this, and then you could have Snapcaster dismembered that instead of that, and then you could use your paper snags on these guys instead of those guys, and you'd have been fine. And he was right. He was absolutely right. And I was just so ticked off. I was just so ticked off. Like, and I feel kind of bad a little bit that I just, like, I get so mad. I mean, I got to the finals of game day. That's pretty good, right? I mean, I ended up going 3, 4, 5. I won 5 in a row. I lost the first match, and then I lost the finals, and I won everything else in the middle, so that's good. And then I realized, like, this is just me being selfish, right? And I should have not been so selfish, obviously. But, like, what happened is when I went to get my prizes for taking second, which was 6 packs. Ooh, this is a little side note that's lame. So the game shop, we went to the game shop. I probably shouldn't go there anymore, but it's a nice game shop anyway. Where on their poster they said if 20 people come, then first place will get a box on top of any other prizes that we're already going to have. Which was like, 2 packs a person into the prize pool. Everyone gets one. Anyway, so you know how that is. So anyway, they were going to give first place a box as well as everything else. So we had 19 people show up. 19. Not 20, right? And I was like, oh, sweet. So does first get like 30 packs instead of 36? No. It's 20 and a box, or not 20, no box. We had 19 people. That's pretty lame, guys. Like, that made me mad. Even though I didn't win the box, right? Because I found it, because in the finals I was thinking about splitting, because he wanted the playmat really bad, and I was like, well, maybe like you could take the playmat and then like the 24 packs or whatever, and then I'll get the box or something like that. I don't know. We could have worked something out, right? But it said no. So because if there would have been 20 people, right? First place, that kid would have gotten a box and 8 packs and a playmat. No, a box and then the playmat, right? And then I would have gotten like 14 packs, and then like the other guys would have gotten packs. And instead, he got 8 packs and I got 6 packs and he got the playmat. Like 36 packs for one person. Just like, man, like if I'd have known that, I would just call my buddy and be like, hey, can we put you in this tournament? Or I don't know. I mean, something. Anyway, I thought it was kind of lame. Like one person away. If we were at 12, not 20, it's different. That's just a little thing. Maybe that shouldn't matter at all. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to get my prizes, right? And I asked the guy, hey, I got second, can I get my prizes? And he's like, yeah, you get 6 packs. And I'm like, I'll just take the store credit. And so it turned out to be $21 in store credit. And then Joshua sat next to me, and he's like, hey, can I get my pity pack? And I'm like, pity pack? What? And Josh only got 1 pack. He just got the participation pack. He didn't top 8. He didn't get anything. And I'm like, man, he's a better player than I am. And I was like, wow, look at you, dude. And he was totally chill about it. He was like, yeah, give me a pack. Let's just play some Magic. And he was just totally normal about it. And I realized right then, like, man, look how selfish I am. Like, I got to the finals of this thing, and I got more packs than he did. And I'm just frustrated. And I'm frustrated because I lost, because I punted it. But like, I was taking out my frustration on him and on my friends, on people around me. And I was just being ticked off at him. This kid that won the game day, this was his first tournament besides FNM. He just played a couple FNMs. This was his first major tournament. Like, when we were talking about getting to top 8, he didn't know what was going to happen next. He thought it was like another tournament or something. He'd never top 8'd anything. He'd never done anything like that. And of course, I've done it all the time, right? Wow, look, I'm not like bragging. I'm just saying that I have had more experience than he has in these, and I should have treated it very differently. I should have congratulated him, and I did. I was like, good job, good game. But I should have like congratulated him and kind of made a big deal about it, made him feel good about it, because it was his first time going to a game day or anything even close to this besides FNM. And it was his first time, and he won. Like, that's awesome. I shouldn't care that much. I didn't care about the playmat. I mean, I just wanted the extra money or whatever. I just wanted to win, but it didn't really matter to me. But it really mattered to him. It really mattered. He went home. He posted on his Facebook. His girlfriend was so proud of him. Like, it was a big deal. And like, I wish that I could have been more supportive to that and to him. And to Josh. I mean, I should learn from that. And he ended up not making top 8, got 1 pack, and he's great with it. He's just having fun and playing Magic. And I just need to overcome this whole frustration thing. I just get so ticked off sometimes, and I want to work on that, which is weird because I'm such a happy person, and I want to work on that anyway. So I'm gonna get better. It was pretty cool. Josh got his 1 pack and he cracked it, even though we usually don't crack packs. We usually just keep them. But he was like, he has this funny little policy where if it's only 1 pack, he just opens it. If it's more, if he gets like 3 or like 10 or something like that, then he'll keep them to sell, or he'll take store credit, or he'll use them to draft or something like that, right? But one pack, he just opens it, and he got the Thundermaw Hellkite, which is pretty sweet. So I gave him my 21 in store credit, and then I just took the Thundermaw Hellkite because that's what I wanted. Okay, I got that out of my system. Gonna be more cheerful. I have another game day tomorrow. I'm just gonna go play some Magic, have a good time. So let's talk about. What do I want to talk about? Subscribers. Okay, so let's go to my channel right now. So my channel. Go. Man, it's kind of running slow right now. Okay, so let's look at my channel.
What's up, guys?
Stop.
Julian here with a response.
Okay. Okay, so my channel has 146 subscribers, and then 44,000 views. I don't care about that, but 146 subscribers, right? Not bad, not too shabby. So I want to make like a little prize right now. Once we get to 200 subscribers. So when we get to 200 subscribers, I'm going to give away a card. And if you want, I can sign it. I don't really have anything. I don't have a lot of cards. I couldn't decide. Maybe like maybe like that Thundermaw Hellkite, or like a Bonfire, like one of those, like a $30 card, or like a Snapcaster, or an Entreat, somewhere like that range ish of cards. I will send one to you because that's cool, and I'll just pick someone at random, or maybe 2 people. I don't know. Let's have like a giveaway. I want to do like a contest and like have a good time with that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I want your suggestions because I don't know. I know some people do different types of prizes and support and things like that. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll think about it more, and I'll make a separate video. So just know that I'm going to have something like that, but I'll make a better video. And also, I'm going to start these quick vids. So I'm going to start doing, because I know that these videos can get a little bit long sometimes, so I'm going to start doing these 5-minute videos, 6-minute videos, break things down, and make them a little more high production quality, along with my 30, 45-minute rants, or talks, and teachings and stuff like that. That way there's just more variation on content. And then I'm also going to look at starting to cast some games, because like I was watching the Star City Open today, and it was Joey Pasco and Mike Flores, and they did a fine job. I like Mike Flores a lot. I just like the way he talks, like the way he is. I think it's kind of it's pretty entertaining. He's a pretty funny guy. But I just started realizing, man, like like looking at StarCraft 2 and like just like the quality of commentating on that, like for that game, and we need to get like that in Magic a little bit, and I think I could do that. I think I'm pretty animated, and my voice is pretty. Anyway, I've been told that I'm pretty good at speaking and that kind of stuff, and I think it'd be great. I think it'd be really fun to do that. So I'm gonna start casting some games, see if we can get that bigger and bigger. I don't know. We'll just see what happens that way. But anyway, that's about all I had for today. So I'm gonna start to be nice. I'm gonna start to play better. No more mistakes. I'm gonna start like writing down my mistakes and learning from them. And then we'll have a contest for 200 subscribers. So thank you very much for watching, and peace out, broskies.